Hello, hello. Today is about niche for a change, but also what is a niche and what isn't a niche. Because the more conversations I'm having, the more I'm realizing um, just how hard it is when you're just starting out to realize that what you thought you carved out is not really a niche just yet. Um, but first things first, what's the definition? It's something rooted in your past experience, perhaps in corporate, typically, as well as your acquired skills in another life, in corporate or sometimes in another industry as well, honestly, or sometimes rooted in a personal experience and a major personal transformation, a major problem you had and you solved for yourself and are now keen to help with, as well as your personality's gifts as per your Enneagram type and dominant instinct. And these will have these will have their specific motivations, goals, fears, and triggers. The motivations and the goals, the deep core callings can be used for our turf, and the fears and the triggers are worth knowing about, just so that we don't fall into all sorts of marketing mindset traps or don't accidentally want to create a niche around something that we aren't quite about, and there are other people in the world who could be serving with that thing much better than us, much more aligned. So who, what, how, and why, who you serve, what you help with, how you do it, very important. Your point of view, your values, your secret sauce, your modality, rooted in your values. So why you do that will all be necessary. So just as an example, my niche is around helping introverted coaches and Enneagram practitioners who are just starting out, either coaching in general or have just had enough of not doing consistent and aligned enough marketing strategy and are ready to do something about it. That's my who and that's my what. So the problem is not marketing enough, not marketing confidently, consistently, in a sustainable, aligned, clear, consistent fashion. And the how is the Enneagram, and the why around it for me is that because it's the best thing ever for self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-regulation, which are all needed in business and are all needed in marketing as well as life. So that's how you create a niche. You need all components, and often when a niche isn't quite cutting it yet, it's because some of these levels are still missing. So here are a couple gauging questions to help you check where you stand with the process. Number one, does what you think is your niche or what you are contemplating becoming it, does it describe or could it ostensibly describe humans in general and life in general and life on the planet? Because then it's, just talking about transformation is one example, because we know that that's the idea behind coaching, but that's a whole industry, if not life itself. So I'd work harder, and I'd probably poke and try to go deeper than that, because with such a generic, wishy-washy or woolly messaging, we might still not gain traction just yet with this amount of noise. Number two, does it describe coaching in general? That's kind of related, I think, to just talking about transformation and inspiration, are just still just generic coaching related ideas. Number three, does it talk about the modality, aka the bells and whistles, instead of the results? This is also very common, to really focus on the length of the program, or I'm still doing this now. I'm realizing that I am so doing this. I am still not talking enough about how the Enneagram is amazing to help introverts, and is amazing to help us niche, because it shows us how differently talented we are in 9 and or 27 different ways if we factor in our instincts, as we should, because they really, really define us as well. So if we don't exploit this, it's not going to be aligned enough. It's just not going to be fitting, and we might even gain traction. That's even worse in a way, to become known for something that we then end up realizing we don't really want to be selling anymore, or don't want to be serving with. So it's better to prevent all this and do the niching work once and for all, for 10 years, 15 years, and go deep enough and put down the foundations properly enough to avoid any kind of misunderstandings or a woolly niche that is not talking to anybody. Question number 4, I think, is it 4? Modality plus results. I often get newsletters. I'm subscribed to a lot from coaches and creators and my competitors, who I'm learning a lot from, and are not my competitors, because so far nobody is doing just this. And even if there was anybody, they wouldn't be me. So this is again something to be leaning into, some sexual instinct wisdom perhaps, that we are all unique. Nobody can replace my curriculum planning experience, my personality, my Enneagram knowledge. Well, maybe, bits and pieces of all these can be found in different people, but the conjunction is making it a unique offering in a way. So this is what we are after when we are creating not just a niche, but also an actual offer, an actual package. And this is why, for example, curriculum planning is such a key strand and a key pillar in my curriculum and also in my way of serving, because I love doing it, I'm good at it, I have a lot of experience of it. So, and I obviously believe that a coaching package that's been curricularized is easier to market and speak to and explain and sell, because it gives people more confidence, it promises a slightly better defined trajectory ahead and all. So that's part of my niche as well. So again, even if there is, or there might be one other coach who helps introverts market better using the Enneagram, they might not be so good at helping people actually create a curriculum as well. Modality and results. And enough about your point of view, your how. So some of those newsletters that I'm reading are boring and generic as you wouldn't believe, because they're not mentioning the point of view. So often there is sort of enough about the what, sort of enough about the who, so the problem and the person, but not enough about how they are going to go about it and how it's unique and how it distinguishes them or the service from other options out there. And the last question is, could anybody else but me deliver this? So this is again just leaning into how this is me, this is my flavor. Again, sexual dominant energy here perhaps, but I think it can be useful for anybody, because we all have our special flavor, even if we are not sexual instinct dominant, and we should be claiming it, we should be leading with it, because that tends to really resonate. So if you've figured out what your core strengths and values are, and as well as skills rooted in past experience, etc., and then you lead with that, you will realize, and your followers and your audience will also realize ultimately, that there is no one else who could possibly deliver this. So that's how you avoid competing meaninglessly, racing to the bottom, becoming commoditized, having exhausting conversations with HR, and you don't want to get bogged down in any of this. It's just not the way to roll, in my experience. So, if any of this is of interest to you, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my Substack, where I send out a Friday a newsletter with my recent Enneagram and marketing and introversion niching related findings, and or sign up for a free type and instinct and niche exploration, where we can check how you're marketing currently, what's holding you back, if anything, and whether I could maybe inspire you with a couple tips on this free call, where I won't be harassing you. I won't be arm wrestling you into buying anything if you're not ready for it, because that wouldn't be ethical, and that's not what I believe in nor what I teach as an introvert myself. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Those are my notes. Yes, I'm still using some. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'm so glad I didn't get interrupted or anything, either by humans or by animals, so that's unique. I look forward to seeing you next week again.